Hi guys, so this is another Fold With Me Fridays. I look a little different to myself. To myself, I look so crazy with no bangs because I never am without bangs, but my bangs were driving me nuts and I pulled them back in this actually new Dollar Tree stretchy headband that I just hauled. And so I'm just going to sit on my bed. The boys are in there. They will probably interrupt 1,000 times, but that's okay. They're all awake. This is actually in the evening time, and I'm just going to fold some clothes on my bed. So I hope that's okay with you guys. Hopefully I don't shake the camera too bad when I'm folding. But today I'm going to talk to you about a dirty little secret. Because, that's what we do on Fold With Me Fridays is we just let it all out. But I'm going to talk about how blended families are not always fairy tales. I feel like this is something that's kind of a touchy, taboo subject. And it's also a touchy, taboo subject in the Christian world, especially because you think that you have God in your family, so everything should just be cupcakes and rainbows, and it should just go all so well, and everything should be great, but that's not always the case. And I've already talked to you guys about how I've been married before. My husband was married before as well. He does have a son with his first wife. I thank the good Lord, did not have children with my first husband, but I did have, he did have a son with his first marriage. So he is 7. We have been married for 6 years. Jaren is 7. They were actually not together. They were still technically married, but not together when Jaren was born. And so we started dating when Jaren was about 6 months old, and we've been married for 6 years now. In those 6 years, I can tell you that life as a blended family has been like this. There are a lot of roller coasters. There are a lot of things that you have to grow. You have to be willing to open yourself up and grow as a parent. You have to be willing to grow as a human being, as a stepmom, as a mother, period, to deal with the things that come your way in blended families. I feel like the taboo is that you can't talk about the negatives of blended families because as a Christian or as a mother even, let's just take Christianity out of it for the time being and just say as a mother, period, you're supposed to be this loving, nurturing, wonderful person. And if you have any negative feelings or bumps in the road that you're a horrible person, you must not be a good mom, and it's terrible. You're just terrible. And I feel like a lot of people, especially, and I will say this just because I'm speaking to this world and this culture because it's what I'm used to, but I feel like, especially in the Christian world, we don't really feel that we can open up about things like this because we have demonized it so much. Like, it is so, you're made a monster out of. If you have an issue or a problem, it's made like you're a bad person. You just don't love your stepchild, or you don't love your husband enough, or whatever. And that's not the case. So typical here on Creative Chaos on this channel, we're going to bust open some taboo subjects, okay? Because I'm just transparent and real, and I feel like everybody should just be the real them, and you should just be who you are, and you should tell the absolute truth. You shouldn't lie about it. You shouldn't act like you have a fairy tale marriage or a fairy tale world with children, or and this is driving me nuts because it keeps falling off, but a fairy tale whatever, and you really don't. You have problems just like everybody else, because everybody has problems. Nobody's life is perfect. And so I just don't mind talking about it and sharing it because, again, like I say all the time, I feel like if you share your story, it can help someone else. So that's what I'm here to do. So with Fold With Me Fridays today, I'm going to share some things with you that I feel are difficult and I feel are hard, and I feel that I have been trying these tactics myself. I think these are right. Yes. Speaking of which, these are Jaren's. And I have been trying... I have been trying these things myself to make it better for me and make it better for my family. So I just wanted to share them with you. Now, first of all, we do not have the situation where we really get along with his mom. We are civil, but we are not in a relationship that I feel would be more beneficial to the child, where you are very communicative with each other, and you communicate with his schooling, communicate with his behavior, communicate with what disciplines that you use in one house versus the next. We don't have that open line of communication where I feel that is very important for a child. I feel it's important for you, especially if you're having issues with that child in certain areas, which we are and we have. I feel that if you're having issues and you're both having issues, then you should communicate together to tell each other how this house deals with those issues versus this house, so that you're kind of on the same page. You're reinforcing the same kind of behavior with the child between both homes, because I know that for a child it has to be very confusing and very overwhelming sometimes to go between two households. Jaron is with us every other weekend. He's also with us all school break, so we get him when he is out of school. We get him for that break, and that's kind of how it's been since he's been in school. That's just the way it is. Now, I really would like to go to standard visitation, which is different for every state, so I'm not going to go into all that because you guys, my washing machine did not get out the marker and clay stain from Killian's mess. But anyway, I won't go into all that because you might not live in this state. But anyway, there are different things for standard rights and things like that varying between states, and so I would love to go through that because I think that it would add more structure, but right now we don't have that. We get him every other weekend. We get him on school breaks, and we get him other different times through the year as well. It just kind of depends, and so I feel like that is difficult. I feel like it's a hard thing. I feel like that's not necessarily the best thing for the child, but I feel like that's just kind of how it goes. So anyway, with all of that being said, I want to talk about how, especially and I'm not going to get into the specifics just because, not because I don't want to be open with you guys, but because it's not really my story, and I say all the time, like, I don't want to tell somebody else's story. I don't mind sharing mine for, you guys all know, but I don't really want to tell somebody else's business if they're not here to say whether or not they want that done. And so with that being said, we have issues as far as behavior, as far as jealousy issues, as far as a lot of different things. And that is very difficult because there's not that open line of communication there. It's not easy for me. Sometimes I feel like a step monster, and it's not because I don't love my stepson or I don't treat him with respect or the same. There's not partiality or anything like that in our household. They both have toys, as far as Tristan and Jaron, because they're the older ones. They share a room, they have separate toys, they have separate beds, they have separate everything, sharing all in the same room. When we do Christmas, we do piles and they get the same. They both have different wardrobes. I mean, it's, they have those things where it's like, okay, I'm coming into this house and it's my home. He definitely has that, and I think that's very, very important for you to establish that. But the point I'm trying to make here is that it's not always cupcakes and rainbows. It is hard. It's not easy when you take one family and you create another family and you smack the two of them together. It's not just going to be beautiful and work perfectly and have no problems. That's just not the way it works. That's not the way it was created to be. I mean, originally, in a perfect world, it wouldn't be like that. You wouldn't have blended homes or broken homes or halfway put together homes or whatever kind of homes you have all over the world. You wouldn't have that. You would just have one simple home. But because this is not a perfect world and things happen, you have to make the best out of the way it is. You have to, when I started dating Joshua and then married Joshua, I knew that he had Jaron. I was more than willing to open my heart and my arms to that little boy. But when he comes into a home that he's not used to, and it's not a routine and it's not normal to him all the time, every other weekend and school breaks, it takes him a while to get back into the routine. We have very different expectations as far as behaviors. We have very different expectations as far as I mean, everything from clothing choice to how you're going to look how presentable you're going to be when you walk out of that door, to all the way down to, you know, how we eat, the manners at the table, how we eat, how we chew, how we, you know, we just have different expectations, and every home is different. You all have quirks and pet peeves, and I'm going to talk about that next week, but you all have different things. That's just the way different families are run. That's why it's a different family, different set of parents, different views, and different, you know, ways of thinking. That's just how it is. Different preferences even. Some things are not even that important. It's just your preference, and we have different ones of those. So when you take two very different homes and he's smack dab going back and forth between both of them, it's going to create some issues, okay? And that's any kid, anybody. That's not necessarily, it doesn't have anything to do with anything other than it is difficult. It's not easy. It's not flowy and cohesive, and it's so easy going from one to the other. It's a fluid motion. No, it's not. It's choppy. It is turmoil sometimes. It is crazy wavy waters. And so I just wanted to reveal that little thing about myself. I know this one is not quite as long as some of them have been, but that was my Fold With Me Friday. I just want to reveal that I'm not perfect either. You know what I mean? We have a blended family, like a lot of people in America and in this world. We are blended too, and it's not always perfect. It doesn't always go well. I don't always know what the heck I'm doing or how to deal with certain situations. I just deal with it as I go. I try to spend as much time on my knees about it as possible and let him give me the answers that I don't have myself. And so that is what I wanted to share, is that I don't have it all together either, that we're all going through this journey called life together. They're running around the couch chasing each other. And it's not always a perfect thing. So just because I'm behind a camera and you see all of these different people, even big name YouTubers that have so many subscribers and they have this lovely family and it's all great, they don't have it all together either. Nobody does. Nobody does. It is a work in progress. You learn as you go, and that's the way it is with kids and everything else in life. So I just wanted to reveal that secret about myself, that, hey, guess what? I'm not perfect either. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. So we are on this road together. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, you know what? Sometimes I get a lot folded when I do these videos, and sometimes I don't. But the background noise is really not helping me out any. But I will see you guys in the next video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. And again, I hope you guys have a great holiday. It's right around the corner. It's just a few days away. I'm going to take care of the screaming banshee that's right outside my door, running around and around the couch. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.